like, share this video and subscribe to the channel. Also leave a comment to let us know what topics you would like us to cover in future. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Seekamentor podcast, where we dive deep into the world of product management. I'm your host, Aditi Gupta, and in each episode, we will be talking to experienced product managers from diverse backgrounds. We will explore their unique journeys into product management, the challenges they have faced, and the insights they have gained along the way. Whether you are an aspiring, a seasoned professional, or just curious about the field, this podcast is for you. So let's get started. So today we have Simran with us, who has recently transitioned her career into product management from a completely different field. So I'm sure, I'm really excited about this conversation because I'm sure her story is truly inspiring. So welcome to the podcast, Simran.
Thank you, Aditi. So happy to be here and sharing my journey with everyone else. So I hope the others can also relate with my journey and someone who also wants to transition from maybe a tech background into a PM role. They can understand that there might be some bumps along the way, but it is doable.
Great. So before we start, why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I come from a very technical background. I completed my bachelor's from India. So I have a bachelor's in technology from University of Delhi, and it was electronics engineering. Then I moved for my master's to Singapore, and my master's are also in electronics engineering, and it's a dual degree. NTU in Singapore and TUM in Germany, but I was mostly in Singapore for the whole program. And then I joined AMD for my internship, wherein I was doing a very technical role. So I was in the chip designing industry for around 3 to 4 years, and I moved between different companies, specifically semiconductor companies, and my role was very R&D oriented. So I was working as a chip design engineer, and then after 4 years I decided that maybe it was getting more monotonous for me, and I wanted to have the bird's eye view of the whole chip design process. So I was working on the one part of chip design where I was doing verification and creating tests for verifying the chips, but I wanted to get the whole bird eye view from the product development to the end, that is when the product is released to the customer. So I wanted to be part of that whole journey, and I was not getting that during my role as a design engineer. So then I decided that okay, it's time to move to a different role, but maybe within the same industry, because I have always been interested in semicon and semiconductor growth. So then is when I decided, okay, I'll try to go into more product management and marketing roles within the semiconductor industry.
Interesting. So you spent roughly 4 years in a technical role before you transitioned
Yes,
into product.
yes, correct. Yep.
So what was your motivation about getting into product management specifically? Why not marketing or any other career path?
So, like I said, my role was getting quite niche in the sense that I was responsible for a particular IP in the whole SOC, and I was verifying that chip, designing the IP for that whole SOC, and I feel I was not getting more exposure in terms of how the semiconductor product cycle works. I was only responsible maybe in the initial phase of product development, but not wherein I get the bird eye view of how the product is launched into the market and what all processes are there after product development. So, for example, in my current job in product management and marketing role, I have the whole view of how it starts till the very end, who are our customers, who buy the chip from my present company, and what all skills are required. So I felt that this was missing in my previous role, and I
Hmm.
wanted to expand that.
Understood. So, what was your journey getting into product management from design? chip design?
It was, I would say, quite bumpy initially because, like I said, I didn't have any other degree apart from the very technical degree, both in bachelor's and master's. And in terms of product management and marketing, I feel that you require some sort of management degree or even some short courses, diploma courses, which I did not have.
Hmm.
And when I tried to interview for these roles initially, the feedback that I got was that I was lacking in terms of experience as well as degree, as well as I should try maybe within my company to do that. But within my company also, it was quite difficult to do that because uh, the position I was in my company, again, they didn't want someone who comes from a pure technical role. They wanted someone to at least have a mixture of
Hmm.
maybe some management skill or some marketing skills or something
Hmm.
which is customer oriented and not just pure R&D skill. So this was the feedback I got from quite a lot of employers.
Understood. So how much time did it take for you to actually, from the point where you decided that I want to change my field, from that point, how much time did it take for you to actually land a job in product?
I think it took me around 1.5 years from the time I decided and till the time I got the job.
Hmm.
Because, like I said, initially I was not very serious. I was
Hmm.
just thinking maybe, okay, let's try this out. I
Hmm.
am not very sure if this will work out or not. I was also open to doing an MBA because this was what my employers demanded, that maybe I should get an MBA because my background was quite technical and I didn't have any background. But I didn't want to do an MBA just yet. I first wanted to dip my feet into this role and get a feel of it
Hmm.
and how it looks, and then maybe in future I can decide more on that MBA part. But
Right.
otherwise it took me 1.5 year, and initial interviews were quite a good learning experience because I didn't know what kind of questions they will ask and what is their feedback. But once I got to know, it was quite good after the 1.5 years of working
Interesting.
towards,
So
yeah.
in this 1.5 years of time span, what type of companies did you target? Like, uh, were you targeting certain type of companies, maybe in semiconductor field, or were you open to any product role and you were just applying?
So I've always been interested in semiconductor technology. So I only wanted to move in the semiconductor company. So I was only trying those. But
Hmm.
initially, I also tried, like I said, within my company.
Hmm.
But they were very less role and they were not very open to this transition. So I was trying outside also, but definitely the same technology field, that is semiconductor, because I felt it was easier for me to navigate that way.
And currently, wherever you are working, is it related to semiconductors?
Yes, it's a purely semiconductor company.
Cool. So your strategy actually worked for you.
Yeah, yes, yes, it did.
Amazing. So initially, as you said, you were getting some rejections, or it was a bumpy road for you. So how did you navigate and how did you keep yourself motivated through all those rejections? Like, um, what was your motivation that I have to keep going through this? And how did you prepare for interviews based on the feedback that you were getting from those rejections?
So initially, I was not very serious. Like I said, so for initial few months, I was not very serious. I didn't anticipate that it's going to be so difficult to transition
Hmm.
because I felt that at the end of the day, I have the technical knowledge, but
Right.
maybe some management skills I can learn along the way, and maybe I can do a part-time MBA while I'm in the job, and the hiring manager or the employers might feel that okay, she can do it, but this was something which I didn't anticipate, that no, for them it's quite important that I do have this skills and
Hmm.
I do have a degree, I do have some experience in my current job so
Hmm.
that I can do their job well.
Hmm.
So I tried to do some courses on Coursera, LinkedIn, and some very short courses like 1 month, 2 month courses.
Hmm.
And they definitely helped me because
Hmm.
I understood more and I was more prepared for the interview. So when they were asking me behavioral questions, I was more
Hmm.
prepared that way.
Hmm.
And I also talked a lot with product managers who are working in the same company or who are doing the same kind of role in semiconductor companies. So their feedback and their suggestions, and I also asked them help for interview prep. So they helped me. They answered a lot of my questions. So I
Hmm.
think this was what helped me to get this final offer after 1 year. And I tried this process throughout the 1 year. So I was constantly applying and constantly giving interviews. I was not stopping in between because at the end of the day, I had that goal fixed that I want to do that.
Understood. But so what I've understood from a lot of people who are looking for product roles is that their CV or resume doesn't get selected in the first place if they don't have experience in product. Did you not
Yeah.
face that kind of a problem?
I did. So, like I said, if I apply for hundreds of jobs, I think for 10, they will call me for an interview. And out of those 10, maybe one or two will go well. But
Hmm.
it doesn't always go through that success phase, right? So
Hmm.
even after applying to hundreds of jobs, I might not even get one job.
Hmm.
So that kind of thing also happened to me.
Hmm.
But my main funda was that just to keep applying to as many jobs as possible. So I
Hmm.
would apply every day, and I think consistency is the key. So if you have your eyes fixed on a goal, then
Hmm.
if you work towards it every day, then I think uh, it can be achievable, like after a certain period of time. So I also modified my resume, no doubt about it. Like I
Hmm.
updated my resume in the sense that it represented that I have some product management experiences. For
Hmm.
example, I updated my resume in terms of the courses I did,
Hmm.
and I tried to make so whatever product management related activities I did in my current job. So even though it was very less
Hmm.
minute, but I
Hmm.
tried to showcase it in my resume so that it's visible at least in terms of when the hiring manager looked through my resume. So these kind of things I think might have helped in my resume getting selected. But definitely it's difficult, and uh, it's same for everyone.
Right. So you uh, highlighted all the transferable skills from your
Yes,
previous experiences, which aligned
yes,
with product role,
correct,
and that
correct.
got your CV selected.
Yes,
Understood. And consistency is obviously a point, a very
yeah,
important point. Yeah.
yes,
Cool. So, your interviews, you must have received this question that you don't have. While we like the answer that you're giving for the behavioral questions, but you do not have experience for product management. And so, what was your answer to convince the hiring manager that, okay, I don't have experience, but this is what I bring to the table? So, how did you navigate that answer? And if you can share a few like examples that you
yeah.
have quoted in your answers, that will be great.
Yeah, so this was the feedback from quite a lot of hiring managers that I don't have experience nor the correct education for this role.
Mm.
But I try to put my skills in such a way that they are transferable to the to the future role as well. So
Mm.
in my existing role, for example, if I'm working as a design engineer, I also collaborate with different people who are in the product development area. So I'm
Mm.
collaborating with different teams, and I am also maybe leading some initiative in
Mm.
terms of my current job roles as a design engineer. So I try to highlight that to my hiring manager that, okay, this is what I'm doing currently, and I think this can be transferable to the job description that you have showed in
Mm.
your role. And I also try to tell them that okay, I have extracurricular activities. For example, I do mentorship, or I give speeches, and I like to be involved in the community in such a way that I give back to the community, and I try to hold this mentorship activities where I teach people, and I am comfortable with talking in a crowd. So all these things I try to point to my hiring manager, and I think some of these skills they can also resonate with
Hmm.
in terms of their job description, because their job description might also have this as a soft skill, that they might need these soft skills for their job. So I try to pinpoint that okay, I have done these, maybe not in my current role, but maybe as an extracurricular activity. So sometimes they get convinced, and sometimes they don't. But at the end of the day, I think it also comes down to the hiring manager, how
Hmm.
open they are, whether they want to hire someone who doesn't have any experience. It totally depends upon them. You can try to convince them as much as possible, but then they also should be open to that possibility.
Understood. And at any point, did this thought not occur to you that, it's going to be a huge risk? What if I do not succeed? Let's say somebody does hire me, but
Yeah,
there I realize that, it's too hard, or like they don't like
yeah,
my work, or it's a risk basically. You are
exactly.
leaving your very stable job where you have gained like four
Yeah,
years of experience. So
yeah.
how did you tackle with those kind of thoughts, and what was your reasoning behind?
Yeah, it was a very, this is a very valid, I think, fear that I did have while transitioning. That what if I don't like the this product management job? What if it's too hectic for me? Or what if I cannot transition back now once I jump into it? And because for me, I was also leaving my country. So I was based in Singapore for quite some time. So I was there for 7 years. And I
Mm.
was also leaving my safe space in that way, that I am transitioning to a different role, different company, and different country. So for me, it was quite a big risk in that way. But I believe in this you only live once motto. So I wanted to take that risk because I don't want to regret anything. So that way I felt okay, uh, I will try to take this risk, and even if I don't like it, I think because I'm in the same industry, semiconductor industry, so
Mm.
maybe if I don't like it, I can try to jump into another opportunities. But I was going in with a very positive mindset that okay, this is something I have been wanting for 1.5 years, so let's do this.
Amazing. Um, that's quite an inspiring story. Um, just wanted to ask you, for someone who is still contemplating whether they should get into product management or not, especially people who are experienced in working in a different role, they have families to support, they have uh, you know careers that they have built out, and but they are not happy with that career probably, and they are contemplating. So for them, what is your advice on how they can reach to a decision faster, whether to move, whether to switch or not? That decision itself is quite taxing and can take time. And
Yeah.
in which role should I get into? Should it be product management? Is it fit for me or not? So to make the decision faster, what can somebody do?
I think they can talk with people who have done this jump. So if they are in certain industry and they want to jump within the certain industry like I did, so they can talk with those people who have done this, and maybe through LinkedIn or any other websites like even Seekamentor, right? So they can talk with them, and they can try to maybe understand their journey. So I feel for me, I resonate best when I talk with someone who is in the same shoes as me. So I resonate best with them. So this is what I feel others can also do, and then they can decide for themselves if this is the best transition for them or not. But definitely, it's always a risk to change your job role completely and move to a different role, but it's completely a personal decision, and you can take help of others, but at the end of the day you have to decide that for yourself.
Understood. And what are some of the qualities of a product manager? Um, Somebody should know that if I'm getting to product management, these are the qualities I need to have. So in your opinion, what are those qualities?
I think first and foremost that I would say is you should be very open to interacting with others. So I
Mm,
feel this was quite different from my past role, in the sense that when I was working as a design engineer, I was maybe interacting once or twice a week with my other team members,
mm,
and this was within my team. So someone
mm,
who is within my team, even with them I was not interacting on a daily basis. So this
mm,
was a very very individual role. But
mm,
as a product management person, I have to interact daily with different people, so from technical side to customer side, sales, account managers, everyone. So you should be quite open to that you are
mm,
open to interacting with everyone. And if you are an introvert, that you don't like interacting with someone, then this role might not be a good enough fit for you.
mm,
And also you should be open to learning every day on the job, because you don't get any manual that okay, this is something that you need to do in your job, or these are the skills that you need to use today and
mm,
tomorrow and
mm,
for the rest of your life that you are in product management. So you should learn on the go. Every day you might learn something new. But in other roles I feel that okay, if you know something, you have the technical knowledge, you know the language, you can code in C++ or whatever, then you can go through your job. You don't have to learn every day. But
mm.
in product management it's quite different, so you should be quite open to this possibility.
Amazing. Understood.
Yeah.
Makes sense. And what is your advice now that you have, I don't know, maybe 4 months or 5 months you have spent in your
Yeah.
current company in a PM role?
Yeah.
So, what is your advice on how to navigate the first 6 months smoothly? As
Um, yeah, I think so. I'm still navigating. For me, it's quite a big change. Like I said, I coming from a very individual role to a very collaborative role. But this is what I wanted to do,
mm,
and so I'm liking it so far. And advice would be to learn every day. So I learn something new every day, and I think there's going to be a huge learning curve for me in future as well, which
mm,
I like. Personally, I like to learn in my job and I don't like it to get stagnant. So it's good for me. And you should also be open if you are trying this kind of job, at least during your initial starting phase. And then I feel that initially I used to feel that even if I don't do this job well, uh, I would feel little bad I because I have like 4 or 5 years of experience total in technical field, and I thought I knew this, but now after coming to a completely different job role, I don't know a lot of things which might be quite obvious to someone who has been here for a longer time.
mm,
So, but I try to take the positive feedback in terms of that, okay, I have much more to learn, and I try to be open in the sense that uh, I would go forward with a very positive mindset.
mm.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a very inspiring story. Thank you so much for sharing your insights and your journey with us. I'm sure a lot of people will learn a lot from your journey. And I think it's a lot about attitude, which is it's very clear that you had a very positive attitude, and you just kept focusing on your goal, and then you finally transition into product. And I'm sure you'll do wonders in future as well. So, thank you so much for joining this podcast and sharing your story with us.
Thank you, Aditi. Happy to be here.